and welcome to another episode of Healthy Talks. I am your host, Judy, and today we have the amazing Emma, who is a registered nurse here in Australia. Hi, Emma, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Julie?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really excited to talk about your background, just to dive more into the nursing world.
Okay.
Can you share more
Uh,
about your journey into nursing and how your experience of becoming a mother influenced your decision to enter the healthcare field?
well, when I had my first child, when I was in hospital after having him, I loved the care I received from the midwives and the nurses, and it actually made me decide to want to do that for other people. And that's the reason I applied to be a nurse.
That's amazing. And then starting your nursing career, you mentioned that you worked in hematology, and that sounded very intense. How did that experience shape your approach to patient care, especially compared to working in general medicine and emergency?
Starting off in hematology, it was very intense, um, very time consuming. You had to definitely have some good time management skills. It made me very aware of infection control, made me, I think it made me a lot more careful, especially
Mm,
when accessing um, cannulas and central access devices and things like that, to make sure about aseptic technique, not reusing the same like normal saline flush, uh,
mm.
wiping before and after, uh, hand hygiene, everything like that. It definitely implemented those skills, and I still use them today.
And what was it about working in emergency medicine that you loved the most? And how does that fast-paced environment fulfill your passion for healthcare?
Um, no 2 days are the same.
Yes, I
I
can
like,
imagine.
yeah, I I like the variety. You get many different illnesses, injuries, uh, many different types of people. I've met some really amazing people during my work, not only patients, but staff as well, nurses, orderlies, PCAs, whichever you want to call them, doctors. Um, yeah, I feel really grateful to work in emergency with all the other people there. The fast pace, it keeps you on your toes.
Mm.
Uh, the shift goes quicker because you're always doing something, always thinking. Um, yeah, and you get to do things that you don't normally do on wards. You're doing more cannulas, more blood tests, having a little bit of autonomy over letting the doctors know about
Mm.
how your patient's going, being able to teach your patients about what's wrong with them so that they're not as scared, really being able to advocate for your patients in some of their worst times.
And you mentioned before when we spoke that you come from a medical family. How did your parents' careers influence your perception of healthcare growing up, and what made you ultimately choose nursing as your path?
Well, having a dad as a doctor and a mum as a nurse, I grew up, I suppose I already had quite a high health literacy. Um, so it's made me, it opened my eyes up when I started nursing to the fact that a lot of people don't have that much knowledge. And I like to be able to teach my patients about that. And having parents in the same field, I can, talk to them about any
Mm.
struggles that I learn from them. There's little tricks and trades of my dad's with, giving IM injections or, um, things like that, I wouldn't have been able to get without having my parents in the same field.
So that's really
And I
how it's
feel
like,
like supported.
yes, and not only like you seeing like the the education around it, but also just like you said, there's little tips and tricks that you've seen them do that now you can take into your healthcare.
Yes, definitely.
And I know staff issues are a pressing issue in healthcare today. From your perspective as an experienced nurse, what changes do you think could help address this challenge, particularly in nursing?
I think possibly people who haven't decided what career they want to do, getting more information about what it's actually like to be a nurse. Yes, shift work can be hard, but nursing can be so rewarding. I love being able to help people, and if anyone's got empathy and they get joy out of making other people happy, I think nursing would be great for them.
Enjoying this episode? Ever thought of starting your own podcast? Podup.com is your go-to. They've got everything you need to run a pro show, including 35 or more AI-powered tools for success. Sign up today for a free starter account and get 15% off with the code HealthETalks15. The code is HealthETalks15. Plus, check out podallies.com for a done-for-you podcasting experience, complete with website, social media, and editing. Start now and let's launch your podcast together.
And you've seen also lots of nurse transitions into other roles, like paramedics. What keeps you passionate about emergency nursing, and what career growth plans do you have for the future for yourself?
I've tried other types of nursing. As we mentioned before, I started my grad year in haematology and then general medicine, which were both very informative and interesting, but lacked the variety and fast pace that I like. And just that increase in knowledge that you can get every shift. I can learn something new every shift. I've worked in intensive care and cath lab and day procedure, which I actually like all of those as well, but I always get drawn back to emergency.
Like we
And
mentioned, you like staying busy.
I do. I plan in the next, say, 3 years to do my postgrad in critical care. But at the same time, I've also started my own business in cosmetic nursing, and I did a postgrad in cosmetic nursing and injectables and dermal therapies. So yeah, just more self-education, staying busy, as you
Yes.
mentioned. But yeah, I also love the cosmetic side of nursing because I'm making people feel better about themselves in
And
a
who
different
wouldn't
way.
want to feel better about themselves?
Exactly.
And talking about the cosmetic side, balancing multiple nursing jobs and your own cosmetic business must be so demanding. How do you manage such a diverse and busy professional life while still finding time for your family?
The most honest answer I could say is I don't know. Uh, um, when I'm home, I try and be present with my children. If my kids are there, I give them my full attention, whether or not it's wrestling, playing on the ground, watching a TV show with them, learning how to play, I don't know, motorbike, iPad games, and watching Roblox. Um, I just try and make every moment count.
Definitely. And tell us more about your cosmetic business. Like, what inspired you to start it, and how does it fulfill a different side of your nursing career?
Um, Honestly, at first, I thought it would give me a little bit more freedom to choose my own hours and earn a little bit more for my family so I didn't have to work as much and could spend more time with them. But I found the more I got into it, the more I actually enjoyed doing the injections and helping my clients, seeing them be happy with themselves after they've come to see me. I had one who has given me permission to talk about her, but she told me that she had felt the best about herself in a long time after she'd been to see me and had some treatment done.
So does
And
that look good, feel good?
Yeah.
And with such a wealth of experience across so many different specialities in nursing, what advice would you give to someone just starting their nursing career or looking to explore diverse areas like you have?
Funny thing is, I never imagined myself working in emergency because I didn't know enough about it. So my best advice would be, don't pigeonhole yourself as a specific type of nurse. If you don't get into something, it doesn't matter. There are so many different types of nursing and you'll be able to try it later on. Even if you don't get into it straight after your grad year or get to try it during, it doesn't matter. There's always another chance or another option or another avenue to go down.
To not quit, just to keep pushing forward. And looking ahead, what do you see as your next big challenge in your career? You did mention that you want to do your postgrad, but is there any other specific area of healthcare you're eager to explore further or expand your expertise in?
So probably further down the road after I've done my postgrad and worked more in resuscitation in emergency and growing my business, I'd love to go more into education.
What aspects of education? Nursing, healthcare education, or
Yes.
healthcare education?
Yes, healthcare education, either educating other nurses in either hospital setting or even at a university, I'd be willing to develop my skills in just so that I can help other nurses learn different tricks and different ways to treat patients and make them feel good about themselves. There's little things like even when you're checking someone's neuro-obs and using a pen torch, instead of blinding your patient from pointing it straight in their eye, you can do it from the side, which still has the same effect on the pupil, but doesn't hurt the patient. Just little things like that.
So little tricks that you've picked up from your experience and then obviously from your parents' side as well. I think that would be amazing. I think maybe your kids might be next.
Possibly.
Well, Emma, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. And I
Not a
hope
problem.
that nurses do realize that there are other departments to explore and to, like you said, just to never quit and keep moving forward.
Definitely.
Well, that's all us from Healthy Talks. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode.